Hello everybody and welcome back to Purbeck. So we're almost at 1 hour rental on this machine. I need to very quickly return it. We're going to take the header off here. This machine is not powerful enough to go up a hill, so we're going to have to replace it basically with the same series but not the same model exactly. This is the 682. I'm guessing the other one is a bigger number, but yeah, we do not want to incur a daily fee. I don't think I did. Sorry, the hourly fee. We also don't want to incur the daily fee, so I'm not going to rent it until tomorrow because I'm not doing all this in the dark, but we want to see exactly what the situation is. Yeah, so the 682 was the smallest one, the one we just had, 316 horsepower. We need to go for the 410 horsepower machine, the 695 SL Mega Plus. Wow. I don't know what the plus stands for, but it obviously adds something very nice. So this is what we can go for once we've rested. Sadly, we did actually lose silage additive in that machine. I was actually hoping to keep it throughout both the fields, but yeah, I couldn't empty it and it had to go, basically. But this is the field we're going to do. It's pretty tall, very tall. So I will see you in the morning, nice and early, when we can rent the new forager. We will have, of course, incur the daily fee on the header, but that's fine. It's still dark. Wow, we're going to see sunrise. Well, that's fine because we don't need it to be light for picking up the machine. So here we go, foragers. I hope this one does have the power. It certainly should do. We're not going to go with the silage additive tank this time. I think we can just keep everything else the same. So 3,264, which sounds like a lot, but actually it isn't because we're going to make so much money from the silage. So here it is. And as we head back to the field, I'll very quickly explain my plans for Court Farm. The series is starting next week. And this week, let's get that right. It is next week for me because I'm recording this the week before. So yeah, basically we're starting Court Farm. The first episode in what is hopefully going to be a big series. I've been reading everybody's comments and suggestions and stuff, and I have come to the conclusion that I'm going to be using Maize Plus. Looking forward to that. It is the first time I've used Maize Plus though in FS22, and it's been many years since I've used Maize Plus generally. It was in FS19, but yeah, it must have been 2 years at least since I've used it. Yeah, it must be. So yeah, we're going to be using that. I will get better as the series progresses because I'm relearning everything. I've been reading the help guide. I'm going to have to keep reading it though to keep my memory fresh. But basically, yeah, what it does is it allows us to have hay, semi-dry grass, fresh grass, conditioned grass, different types of silage. You actually can differentiate between maize silage and grass silage, all that sort of stuff. And it changes different feed systems for the animals. It's great. Very, well, it's quite complicated, I think, to begin with. That's what I found before, but you do get used to it. Sunrise! We're almost at the field. Also, I might use Courseplay. I haven't fully decided on Courseplay yet. Also, we're not going to own too much stuff to begin with. I want it to be a good working up from the bottom, well, not at the bottom, not so we've got absolutely nothing. Not so it's like survival challenge, but so we don't have loads of stuff, and what we have will probably be quite older models of tractors and stuff, so we can still work up towards bigger, newer stuff. But that doesn't mean that we're not having any new stuff. We probably will have one new tractor. Right, so here we are. Now, ideally, we want to have like a dolly trailer on the back of this, because then we can just tow it. But it would be another expense, and I think if you just ignore the worker driving in the crop for the first lap only, it shouldn't even be a problem. So what I need to do is get Follow Me set up. Wow, look at that sunrise. That is breathtaking. Beautiful. It's so fiery. I need to get a screenshot of that. Yeah, so this first lap we're going to have to go offset to the right, which obviously is in the crop, but there is nothing we can really do about it except for renting another trailer. So let's just set that off. I think it was about 4.5 meters We want to be in front, but we're going to have to watch out for that gate actually. Let me just stop the worker. Yeah, so if we're in front by about 5, should be alright. Let's just see if that's close enough. Maybe 10. Maybe 5, we'll see. It's actually best that you don't see this because it is pretty painful watching a tractor drive through the crop. So I will jump cut and we can watch this being done nicely with the tractor on our left hand side. There we are. Right, that's so much better. It filled the trailer 40% doing that first bit, which I think is quite good considering we don't have the additive anymore. Oh, don't want to miss bits. Let's just grab that. It is offset by... Hang on, where are you going? Oh, I suppose backing up's confused it. Whoops. Okay. I'll try not to do that again. Oh, what a beautiful sunrise. Well, now that we've seen that and appreciated it, I can now speed up the time a bit. That is amazing. That is so good. So there we go. We're chopping. And we're getting into the trailer. And because, yeah, it's not really far to go, and because we are using a fairly big trailer here, I think we'll be done by... If we put it to times... what would the best time? Probably times 10 actually. Probably be done by about 11ish. We will have to compact the pit. This is the only bit I was worried about because it is quite tight for the tractor. But it seems it has managed it. Lovely. We will probably have to go and unload after this lap. Which is a shame because obviously it's all set up nicely now. But it should only get easier as I've done the difficult part. The sun is rising. Yeah, this money which is produced from the silage is very important because we need to repay the loan. Some people have said just get rid of the loan, because technically we started off with the combine and it was the wrong one. I can see where you're coming from, but there'll be other people who think that I'm just cheating, so I think I'm going to pay it off. It kind of would be cheating, because this is a higher spec machine. Substantially higher spec. Right, well, I'm going to unload now as we're at the awkward part. Just stop the worker in this machine. We are 78% full. So let's tip. Let's unload. Bit of texture flicker I can see. As for when Court Farm is starting though, my Let's Play, I might start it before the final episode of Vintage Survival. It depends if I'm ready, because I'm still trying to learn Maize Plus and stuff, and I still need to set up the farm. We probably will finish Vintage Survival first, because that's what I've always done in the past. So yeah, chances are... Well, I'm going to have a reshuffle. I think we're going to change the schedule a bit. But chances are it will be on Friday, I would say, of this week. That's my guess. But yeah, I think we're going to change the days that I do Court Farm. And Purbeck. But I need to have a good think about it. The schedule. Okay, looking good. So that's trailer load done. And empty. I think the rest of it's going to fit into this next load. So we'll get it back onto a worker. We can turn the headlights off. And we'll get it done. There's my pallet of seed. That's where it got to. I know that somebody else did actually spot it. I saw a comment saying that they'd seen it in the field, so that is the field they saw it in. Just there. Right, actually, just to get this back on track. Let's start up here. Start from just here. That should be good. And then sadly, we'll be returning the forager, but this one, the highest spec one, has certainly ended up being perfect. It's not struggling at all. The other one did struggle, even on the flat. Doing a really, really good job. So let's get it done, and I'll see you when we have an empty field. There we go, and it looks like there is rain coming. I did see this in the forecast a couple of months ago, and it did say just generally that November was wet, but we've managed to get a really beautiful morning. I know we have little bits of corn, we've got a few corn stalks and stuff, corn plants at the edge, but there's no point trying to get the workers to come alongside us to get those. It would cost way more than what they're worth, and then we probably won't get them anyway because it won't be close enough. I'm very happy with what we have. So yeah, that forager can now be returned. We only had it for 0.3 hours. I would love to buy it, because then we could also pick up grass from the ground. So how full is the pit? It must be pretty full. Well, obviously not visually, but compared to what I've had in the past, we must have a serious amount here. Okay, we have in this pit 205,000 litres. That equates to probably around £100,000, maybe a bit less. And that should repay the loan nicely. But we're going to keep some of it. We do need it for the cows. Speaking of the cows, they are actually out of food complete now. They did have food before, so they've only just run out. They need total mixed ration. We need a feed mixer. But let's just get this compacted so we can start the fermentation process, and then we can look into feeding the cows. And there we go, that's 100% compacted. Let's cover it over. It should be ready in the next month or so. Lovely. So good to have that. So the trugular can now go into here, into this other pit. I think it's unlikely we're going to ever have two pits fermenting at the same time, or even two pits with something in them. So there we go. Love the animation on this trailer when you detach. It doesn't just fall off. There we go. So you've got the stand put down and everything. So yeah, let's have a look into these cows. Now I know I have some bales. We have hay, silage. Do we have straw? Yes, we do. So we have everything. There's no excuse for them not having total mixed ration now, because we should even be able to afford a feed mixer. I did say at one point it'd be nice to have a stationary one, but I think at the moment we're going to be a little way off that. It's going to be a bit too expensive for us. So let's just go into animals, and that's a shredder. Yeah, I think really, unless I go for another modded one, well, this is the only one we can afford. I would like the Fairsin. We'll have to have the Silo King. Okay. Oh, unless there's one used, but that's highly unlikely. No. So the Silo King it is. We're purchasing it brand new. Let's start making a feed mixture. And of course they're going to need water as well, so there's plenty of animal work to do now. The situation should never occur again though, where the cows have no food. Because now we're doing a total mix ration. We're going to put loads in. The biggest problem is water. I would like to just plumb it in. It is possible, but we don't have the money at the moment. Soon. For the time being, they're going to have to drink river water. And my straw stack can be sold in, I think, December, when the price peaks. The John Deere is on animal duty. So we need to get the front loader onto the New Holland. It probably already is fitted. I need to refresh my memory as to how many bales this machine takes for the best mixture. Probably 1 or 2 hay and silage, and then just fill it to the top with straw. It's likely going to be for the best. So where is the best place to do this mixture? Probably here. Give myself a bit of space. Let's engage the PTO so it's mixing. And we will jump into the New Holland. So we do have hay bales here as well. Or are they grass bales? I think they're all hay. I don't think we have any grass. So yeah, let's just do one of each to begin with. Let's be careful. I'm so used to using bigger mixers recently. This Silo King is pretty small. Well, I say it's small. It's actually huge. It's just in FS it appears small. Right, we have this one random silage bale. So we'll pick that up. And then we'll get the straw bale. And, well, if we're almost at the top, we'll put it in. But if we're way off, we'll have to get another hay bale. Okay, yes, it's looking like another hay bale is in order. We don't really want to be going over the top with the silage, because that's worth way more. But then at the same time, I don't want to put too much hay in, because they are quite large. There's more hay in a bale than silage has in a bale in this game. Well, for this bale type. Yeah, we should be alright. Because it's going to be padded out further with the straw. If this works out, then that's great, because it means we can choose 2 hay, 1 silage, and then just top it up with straw. Which will be fairly cheap. It would never be a full straw bale though. Wow, that would be so bad. It's just going to reject it if we put that in. So judging by the colour, it's still acting as total mix ration, not just general forage or whatever. There we go. So we have a very hay heavy mix with very little silage, but it's good enough. It's going to work. So what we need to do is head over to their trough. Now it is a bit muddy on the other side. We can possibly get there from this side, but I think I would prefer to drive around. $22,000 litres, that's so nice. Everything is going to be getting muddy soon when the rain comes. Right, muddy, very muddy. But we have made it... Oh crikey, we've slipped into the shed. Yeah, you see, that's when you really realise how big this mixer is. It's huge. Just playing in the mud now. Yeah, we might have to try it from the other side. It's all a bit slippery. But we are in. Okay then. So let's unload. Okay, it's coming out that side. You can change it. They're probably going to take a load of these because they're cows. They have a lot of food requirements. They need lots and lots of food. Although these ones seem to not have too much. I think it does increase. The capacity increases with the amount of cows that you have. So clearly we don't have too many. Which makes it nice for the water because it's going to take forever to get water anyway. Let's get the second and what appears to be the final load. That is easy. Thought it'd be a good idea to empty this trailer. As silage bales are so heavy, it would be nice to have a bigger machine, but we're probably moving away from silage bales anyway because I think we're going to be doing pit work mostly. These were really just to get us going. I just don't know why they're so heavy because I can pick up 5 hay bales and the tractor still handles them better than just 2 of these. So it's a bit of a mystery. I know they're heavier, they're probably denser and wetter, but they are considerably heavier. And the weight that we have on the back of this tractor is not exactly light. It is, well, it's a double, 600 plus 900. So, yeah, it's really getting up there. 1.5. Makes you wonder how heavy these actually are each. Right, so obviously we need one of these anyway to put into the mixer. Let's just push that one into there nicely. Oh nice, it actually does say mass 1 ton. Mass 426 kilograms, which makes perfect sense. Yep, that would calculate to be about right. And there we have it, the final bale. Let's just pick that up. We'll drop it into the mixer, followed by the straw bale, but it won't take all the straw. And then that'll be the trough full of food. Next we'll have all the water to do, which is going to be pretty slow. We do need a bigger tanker. Yeah, so you can see our silage stacked up in there. Just keeping it against that wall, it should be fine there. And this should take about 2,000 litres roughly. There we go. It doesn't take much. And we have another 22,000 litres of total mixed ration. Very nice. So once we have water again, the cows can resume their slurry production. We still have several fields to spread slurry on. Should I go through there? I think I'm gonna do what I said I wasn't gonna do and go back through the mud. Maybe this time I can have a bit more momentum, stay more to the left. We'll see if it's possible to get in one go. That's it. That's all we need. And that's all we need. Cows eating. How dare they eat out of their own trough? It's alright, cows. I'll unload here. Don't mind me. You enjoy your food. Yep, so they didn't even take all of that. In fact, we could keep this here, I guess. What we'll do is I'll get that bale moved. We shall remove the front loader and we will start shuttling between the river and the farm, filling up their trough with water. We probably could keep the rear weight on. If we're going to attach this direct to the weight, which I think we can do, we'll keep it attached. Yep, go straight through that pin. Yeah, so it's going to be at least maybe 4, 5 loads. It's a lot of driving backwards and forwards. But I'll just show you where we get it from, and then I'll just keep shuttling. We're now sort of in the time when there's not a great deal to do. We will also be doing Court Farm with seasons. I think I mentioned that in a previous video though. Yep, so this is where I'm going to. It's a bit deep and steep, but it is possible to do a loop around this tree. And we can pump the water out. So this is our field that we drilled. We drilled it into the cover crop. We now have canola growing. And it's looking good. I think we're going to put another crop in, cover crop in the field on the hillside, but we can't do that until February, March time. So really, over the winter we're just looking after the cows, spreading fields whenever we can do, with slurry, and yeah, just trying to get through to the spring. But the cows should really increase their milk production now as well, which is going to be really nice. And we'll be able to sell a massive load of silage over the winter. So for this we are certainly going through this way. Let's just open the gate up. Where is the handle here? And we'll do a quick spin. That cow is still eating. Maybe it's not the same cow. Did we actually have any water still in there? No. We have just over 1,000 litres of milk. So there we go, that's emptying. I'll turn the beacon off actually, because I've seen comments before where people say when I time-lapse in a shed with the beacon going, yeah, it's not good for people who suffer from photosensitive issues, like seizures and stuff, so yeah, for those people I will keep the beacons off. Well, several loads later, And here we are. We have got, well, I think it's the final load. We'll have a look at the menu in a second. But although it is costing us a bit of money with the diesel and time, it is still cheaper, I would say, than plumbing it in for tap water, because it is tap water it uses, and yeah, you get charged per litre. But I do want to do that eventually, because it is going to be easier than this. So I didn't quite make it, but look at that. Oh wow, so close. The capacity must be 12,000 litres. That's good enough. I've done several loads there. In fact, everything's looking so good. They've got all the food they need, all the water they need. Oh, straw. Well, I don't know if I'm going to give them straw. If their health gets to 100% in the next day, then we won't do, because then we can just have slurry. We currently only have 718 litres of slurry, so that's not really much. It's because they ran out of water and food. But hopefully next month, later on in the day, later on in the month, they will have enough for us to do another load. But I think really that is the end of November. Oh, and it's just starting to rain. What amazing timing. I can't believe we actually managed to do all of the corn without it raining, because the forecast on here was really not looking good. Looks like we have 3 hours of rain now. But yeah, December is snowing, January is snowing, February is snowing, all unlike England. And yeah, they're going to be getting nicer again in the spring. But anyway, yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed this episode. You can enjoy the sunset as we enjoyed the sunrise. And until next time, see you again very soon. Bye for now.